All right, I love singles pickleball. I love playing singles. I love coaching people who are playing singles. I love doing broadcast commentary during singles. But one of the things that drives me crazy is when we watch good singles players be reluctant to come forward to the net. We know in doubles pickleball, you return serve and you come into the net, right? And there's a whole bunch of good reasons for that. But in singles, people are a little nervous to do this. So I've got a few clips here from our good friends over at the PPA. And it's Leah Jansen playing against Annalie Waters. And I want to use a bunch of clips to sort of really try to illustrate this point about singles pickleball and why coming forward is so important. And I'm hoping by watching this, if you are one of those reluctant players, a player who is reluctant to come forward in singles, that maybe this will change your mind. Okay, let's take a look.
All right, let's take a look here. We've got Annalie Waters and Leah Jansen, footage courtesy of the Pro Pickleball Association, PPA. Now let's look at this point. This is a really nice way to start out this little lesson here. So look how deep this serve is. Jansen is well behind the baseline. Good deep serve from Waters, and Jansen chooses to stay back. Now look how deep Annalie Waters is, but watch what she's going to do. She's going to hit this return. She's just as far back. She decides to come in, and look at this. As Jansen's hitting the ball, Waters is still at the baseline, but she keeps coming forward anyway, and look what she can do, swinging backhand volley. So even from a not great position, remember, Jansen was hitting from the backcourt while Waters was still on her baseline. Annalie's able to come forward and get that advantage. That is a really nice highlight here. Let's look at another one. All right, again, Jansen Waters. This is all going to be Jansen Waters. Now notice this one here. We'll watch the whole point, then we'll break it down. Waters having to scramble. Jansen puts it away. Okay, so what is it that happened here? So Jansen serving at the top of your screen. And once again, you're going to see a good deep serve. Look where Waters is. She's 3-4 feet behind the baseline. She's going to return and stay back. Jansen's also at the baseline, but she realizes, okay, Annalie is putting no pressure on me. I'm going to put pressure on her. She comes in. Look where Waters is. A little bit off balance here. And now it's just left and right. Jansen working Waters till Annalie has to put up the lob. Easy overhead put away for Jansen. And again, this all materialized because Waters stayed back, giving the opening for Jansen to come forward. And look at her going left and right and left and right. You can control this. You can take away time when you're up at the net. You can play angles you can't from the backcourt. That's why it's so important. That's a very good overhead. That short, sharp angle. Okay, let's look at another example here. Again, the advantage of coming forward, the disadvantage of staying back. So Waters stays back. Jansen stays back, back, back. Their baseline grinding away. It's impressive, but no one's going to win the point very easily like this. All right. Now, in this case, this is a bit of a counterpoint to what I was saying. You're going to see here that Jansen, she's the first one who comes forward after this extended baseline rally. But what is it that happens? Well, Annalie Waters, she just plays too good a shot. Let's look at it here. So deep serve, Waters is back, chooses to stay back. Jansen, behind the baseline, chooses to stay back. Waters, way behind the baseline, still moving to her left. She's going to hit. Jansen is still back. Waters is still back. Baseline, ground strokes. The crowd loves it because it's exciting. It's nice to hear them hit hard. We like that. But if you want to win the point, you have to come forward in singles. Jansen hits this ball. And now she sees that there's an opportunity here. I mean, there were other opportunities, but she takes that one. Here's where the trouble came. Look how low this ball is. She's got to hit up on it. She's at 3/4 court. It's a good low ball by Waters, but that means Jansen can't hit with much speed. And she doesn't really make Annalie run either. Look how well Annalie is set up here. She's able to drive that ball down the line. And Jansen plays a pretty good volley, but Annalie, I don't want to say she got lucky, but she got a little bit lucky here. It was a very good shot, right? But the point here is that Jansen gave herself the chance to win the point. And I'm not sure out of 10 volleys that Jansen hits like that, how many Waters is going to hit back for a winner. Anyway, let's move on here. Let's look at this other point. Waters stays back, gives the opening for Jansen. Doesn't do enough with that ball. And here we go. Now, you might say, well, Mark, look, Jansen came forward. She lost the point, and it's true, she did. But she had the chance to win the point. She just didn't take advantage of it. She didn't make Waters move the way that she needed to get her off balance. Here we have Jansen serving on the near side. Waters stays back. Okay, Jansen's at the baseline. What's she going to do? She drives that ball, and she comes in. This is excellent. This is great. Look at how much Waters has to run. She's stretching. There's a lot of court to the right-hand side. So when this ball comes back, Jansen, it's got to play like a good angle here. But she lets this ball bounce. Notice how she steps back, and that is going to give time to Waters. Annalie gets back in the court, and look, when Jansen hits this, Annalie's almost in the center of the court. There's not a ton of an angle, and all of a sudden now we get a counterattack, a little bit of a drop from Waters. So that decision to let the ball bounce, remember, when you come forward, you are stealing time from your opponents, and as soon as you step back, you give them time. All of a sudden, Annalie realizes Jansen's in a lot of trouble. She comes forward and pounds that cross-court forehand volley. So again, it's not only about winning the point, it's about giving yourself chances to win the point. And in that case, Jansen had the chance, just didn't capitalize. It happens. Easy to say from back here while you're watching. Okay, let's watch another one. Deep serve. So look at this. Annalie, she's the first one to come in because Jansen doesn't take advantage. And then it's like taking candy from a baby. So, deep serve. That ball might have been out. Anyway, good sportsmanship from Jansen. Look at how Annalie comes forward, working her left and right, using the angles, forcing the lob. Easy. Got another example here coming up. And again, this is sort of a recurring theme. I just want to sort of share with you the examples. Okay, Jansen coming forward, and that is a great drop from Annalie. Great angle there, Jansen. Again, so the two main advantages you have when you come forward, they both have to do with time, right? You're taking time from your opponents because you're hitting the ball sooner than you would if you're back at the baseline. Right, baseline to baseline is 44 feet. A lot less distance that ball's going to travel when you come up to the net. So you're stealing time by getting closer. Yeah, that's just not good enough. Stealing time because you get more high balls, right? But it's not a guarantee. If you put balls back in the middle of the court where your opponent can set up well, like Annalie does there, she's going to pass you every time. And so what happens is when we play singles, there's sometimes a bit of a fear, right? That you have to go for so much on the return of serve or go for so much on the approach shot that if you don't hit it well, you're going to get passed. And sometimes that's true. But if you're staying back at the baseline, you're really not putting much pressure on your opponent. Look at Jansen working Waters back and forth, until that one volley doesn't move Annalie enough. Let's see, she's fired up. Let's look at the replay here. So here's the volley that did not move her enough, and now Jansen's in trouble. Again, the problem wasn't coming to the net there. The problem was not really capitalizing, using the angles, and using speed the way that Jansen probably would have wanted to. Jansen coming in. Again, look how much Annalie has to chase down those balls. Open court backhand volley, nicely done by Jansen. Got a couple more points here to look at. Of course, this was the old rules where you were allowed to use this chainsaw kind of serve. This ball clips off the top of the net. Jansen does a good job. And again, look at how hard Annalie has to work. Again, sometimes I wonder, I think players, it's important for them to go back and look at these highlights and see themselves and sort of notice, like, hey, when I was coming in, I either won the point or gave myself chances to win points. Right? When I didn't win the point, the coming forward wasn't so much the issue. It was the volley that didn't go enough into the open court, for example.
Call the score 6-9.
We see Jansen again. Annalie's on a little bit of a string here going back and forth. It's a hard way to earn those points. Jansen, good job up there at the net controlling things. Let's look at one last clip here. Again, this idea of coming forward in singles pickleball is so important. You can steal time by reducing the distance the ball travels, by getting those high balls. You can also use angles you can't from the back of the court. If you're a singles player, you got to be brave. You got to be brave out there. And nice job jumping the corner, putting away that angle. Cannot do that from the baseline. Nicely done. This was a great match. By the way, you should go back and check it out. Love these best 3 out of 5 game matches that the PPA and some of the other tournaments are now starting to feature. Really great camera work as well. Thanks for this video courtesy of the PPA. If you play singles, be brave. Come to the net. It'll usually pay off. I promise. Good luck out there.
So we've had race to 15 games. We basically...
Okay, so there you go. Do you have to come forward in singles? No, of course you don't. And are there some times where it's smart to stay back? Yeah, I guess there is. But the impulse, I think, if you want to be a good singles player, the impulse has to be to try to get forward quickly, to not have these long extended baseline rallies where you're essentially inviting the opponents to come in. And as we saw in some of the clips here, even if your approach shot isn't amazing, or even if you're not in the best position, sometimes just coming forward is good enough to apply that pressure. So be brave, go out there, and come to the net.